Have you ever known exactly what you wanted or needed to do, but still couldn't seem to get started? Maybe the task felt too big. Maybe you were overwhelmed. Or maybe your brain just kept circling without landing anywhere. Welcome back to Penny for Your Shots, Conversations and Cocktails with Brilliant Women. I'm Penny Fitzgerald, and in this conversation, Barb Hubbard and I talk about ADHD, stress, and how even perimenopause can affect our ability to focus, prioritize, and take that first step. Most of us probably already knew that. But she also introduces us to EFT tapping, a simple practice that can help calm the nervous system, create clarity, and make it easier to move forward. And Barb doesn't just explain it, she walks us through it. So get comfortable, take a breath, and join us for this conversation about getting unstuck, giving ourselves grace, and remembering that we don't have to do everything perfectly. We just have to be willing to begin. Here is Barb Hubbard.
Patty,
Barb, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm so grateful to meet you. I'm grateful that Rachel got us connected. Rachel's just a doll.
It is. And anybody she connects me with, I just jump right on it because
I know.
she's the most interesting, fabulous people. Yeah,
So, yeah, I agree. Totally agree. So, Barb, for my benefit and for my audience, would you tell us a little bit about you? Give us your name and what you do and what lights you up.
sure. Yeah. So I'm Barb Hubbard and I am an ADHD coach and EFT tapping practitioner. That is my title, I guess. I don't have a fancy title. I just, kind of say what I do. But what that means is that I work with women, typically women who feel like they might have ADHD or they've been diagnosed with ADHD later in life. And I support them in terms of understanding their ADHD, understanding how it impacts their brain, figuring out how to move forward with that, how
Mhm.
to find focus, how to find motivation, how to get things done. And a lot of what I do to support them involves EFT tapping. So, as an EFT tapping practitioner, I'm using that in kind of a non traditional way. I'm using that to help them gain clarity. And I'm using that to help regulate emotions because much of ADHD is emotions. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's what I do. And in terms of what lights me up, my work lights me up. The people that I
that's
meet
great.
lights me up. And
Yeah.
I work exclusively online, but love that. I love jumping on a Zoom call and meeting new people.
Oh, yeah. And creating a great impact for people who obviously need some assistance and
Yeah,
support.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
great. That's so fascinating on many levels. I have been, well, I just met not that long ago, within a year, a new friend who also does the EFT tapping protocol. So I had learned just, high level from her what it is, and it's fascinating. So I want to ask you more about that. But before we do, can you talk a little bit more about the ADHD diagnosis and the process and all of that? Because I feel like women, especially, we wear so many hats and we're juggling so many tasks, for many people in our lives. So
Yes.
how do you, as a woman, as you're navigating life in general, how do you know if you fall in that category versus, oh my gosh, I just have too much to do and maybe I just need
Mhm,
to,
mhm.
you know, focus on one thing or get out of some
Yeah,
of these,
yeah,
or say
yeah,
no, maybe use the
yeah,
word no
exactly,
occasionally.
right? Use the word no. Yeah, so yeah, so let me say first off that as a coach, I don't diagnose,
Hmm.
and a diagnosis would be made through a medical professional. But that being said,
Hmm.
I have worked with so many people, and I've had my own journey through, figuring out if I have ADHD. So um, the kinds of things that women tend to struggle with are focus, are saying no, right? That's a big one. Finding motivation. So I think one of the big things is like, I know what I want to do. I might even want to do it, but I
Hmm.
can't find the motivation to get started.
Hmm.
And that often involves a lot of what they call executive functions. So
Mm.
prioritization and breaking things down, like a big task, breaking it down and knowing where to start. Those are
Mm-hmm.
things that that an ADHD brain struggles with. But same thing with perimenopause, same thing with
Right.
sleep deprivation, same thing with many chronic illnesses, right?
Yeah.
So it is really, really tricky to tease out, is this ADHD or might it be something else? And that's why I
Right.
say, I don't exclusively work with people who have been diagnosed with ADHD because
Okay.
oftentimes they haven't been. And they're
Mm-hmm.
just in this season of life or
Mm.
this, you know, time where they're like, oh, I don't know how to get out of this. I'm struggling
Mm-hmm.
what to do. And, I can support them through that because the strategies that work if you have ADHD probably will work if you also are just in
Mm.
perimenopause. The
Right.
difference I'd say is that if you truly have ADHD, you've
Mm-hmm.
probably struggled with this for most of your life, at
Mm.
least
Okay.
on and off, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you're a 45-year-old woman and this is new for you, then
Here's
it
your
might
sign.
not be ADHD, right? It
Right.
probably is something else going on, and I would
Yeah.
look at perimenopause to start with
Yeah.
because that can often feel like it. But if it's something that like you notice a pattern, and it started when you were in middle school, and then maybe
Mm-hmm.
you felt a lot better, but then you got to college and fell apart, or had
Mm.
kids and fell apart, and it's kind of this reoccurring pattern of these times in
Okay.
your life where you feel like you just are scattered and
Okay.
don't know which way is up. If it's a reoccurring pattern like that, then it
Yeah.
might be ADHD and
Okay.
it's worth a conversation with your medical provider.
Okay. Well, and let's say there are women, I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs
Yeah,
of this age and a lot
yeah.
of hormonal different, the
Exactly.
imbalances and stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that there's a lot of overwhelm out there. I mean, we want to make this big impact. We have this thing we want to do. Maybe we've had a tap on the shoulder for many years that "Hey, you should go do this thing."
Yeah.
And now you don't know where to start, that sort of thing. So would it sounds very much to me like the support that you give would help someone in that situation. Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah, it is. In fact, that's what I help with the most is
Mm-hmm.
I call it getting started, right? Getting
Yep.
started on the dishes or getting started on that dream that you've been putting up, that tap
Yes.
on the shoulder, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you've been delaying or you've been procrastinating or you've just felt like it wasn't time or you couldn't do it, right? I want people to go out and
Yeah.
do those things because
Yeah.
those are the things that are going to change the world. And
Right.
say that, and it sounds kind of cliche, but it could change the world, or at a minimum, it could change the world for your family, right? For you.
Right.
Those are
Right.
the
It could
things I
bring you
want.
joy, and that's enough.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because if you have that joy in your life, it's going to ripple
Mm-hmm.
out to the people who are
Absolutely.
around you. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Well, in that nudge, that tap on the shoulder, I personally feel that's divine.
Yes.
That's
Yes. I
that's
believe
an
it too. Yeah.
intuition. That is our
Mhm,
inner knowing that this is
mhm,
the path I'm supposed to
mhm.
follow. But I think we get in
Yeah.
our own way. We want it to be perfect, or we think it has to be a certain way, or we don't
Yeah.
know enough yet, or we give
Yeah.
ourselves that
Mhm.
fear that, oh gosh, I don't know if I'll do it justice. This dream that I
Yeah.
have in my head, I don't know if I know enough yet.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
hold off. But
Mhm.
really it's the action that brings the clarity. It's the action that
It
really, yeah, helps us
is.
move
Yeah.
forward into the
Yeah.
next step and the next step after that. So what
100.
you do helps women take that first step. Is that where you
Yeah.
come in?
Yeah. So a lot of what I do is just that, helping people take the first step. And it might
Mm,
be about offering some accountability.
mm,
Um, for a
mm-hmm.
while, I called myself an accountability coach, but that was it was one little part of what I did. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, if if somebody hires me to work with them, then they're
Mm-hmm.
probably going to do whatever suggestions come up during our session together, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so one of those suggestions is, make that phone call or do 30 minutes of research or reach out to your friend to collaborate together, right? Like the accountability is powerful. So
Yes.
that's a piece of it. Another piece of what I do is just helping people get clarity on where to start.
Mm.
Because you're
Mm-hmm.
right, like it feels big, right? These
Right.
dreams,
We
these
make
little
it big.
nudges. Yeah, we do, we do. But right, we've been probably sitting on it for years, and
Mm-hmm.
as we've been sitting on it, it's gotten bigger and bigger and grown and grown and grown. And
Yeah.
then it feels like, all right, well, where do I start? What is
Mm-hmm.
the most important piece of this, right?
Yeah.
And that often is where tapping comes in,
Okay.
because when you're in that space of when you're frozen, right? Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know where to start. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Right? When you're frozen, your brain is in fight or flight, and
Mm-hmm.
when your brain's in fight or flight, you can't problem solve. You can't think clearly.
Yeah.
Tapping at its most basic level is just calming the nervous system so that you can
Mm-hmm.
bring your thinking brain back online. And so, a couple rounds of tapping, and you often are, oh, I know what I need to do first. I know
Ah.
the piece of this that is most important. And so, I'll teach people how to tap, how to make it a habit so that they
Mm-hmm.
do it on their own. Because clarity, if you don't have clarity, you're not likely to get started on things. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah, just that first step, knowing where to start, really gets the ball rolling. It starts the
yeah,
momentum in the positive
exactly,
direction.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about tapping. Give us a little overview of like what it is and maybe what it isn't,
Yeah,
and what you love about it. Yeah. Tell us
yeah.
about it.
So I've been tapping for myself for over 10 years. And
Mm-hmm.
I do love it. And it has changed. It has helped me grow my confidence. It's helped me get started on things
Mm-hmm.
that were my dreams, right? At its most basic level, what you're doing when you're tapping is you're literally using your fingers to tap on acupressure points along your face and your upper torso. And
Okay.
these points that you're tapping on are meridian points in your body. They are connected to different nerves, different energy pathways. It goes all the way back to traditional Chinese medicine, but you don't
Okay.
need to know the details of that. Just know that this kind of
That's
thought
the
process has
origins
been
or the
around for a long time.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So kind of like acupuncture, right? Where you
Mm-hmm.
put the needles in,
Yeah.
they're stimulating these pathways so that your body will calm down, right? And the piece that I alluded to earlier that I like to share with people is that we in our modern world live our lives in this kind of chronic stress, constant tension, and our brains are often in fight or flight. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't have a tiger lurking behind us anymore, but our evolutionarily speaking, our brain hasn't caught up yet to know that
Mm-hmm.
that's not a fear. But what does set our brains off, our amygdala off, is things like, that notification that, our
Mm.
kid is at school and sick, or, that phone call, or, that comment from somebody that maybe
Yeah.
was didn't mean anything, but suddenly you make it mean something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So things kind of trigger our brain to go into fight or flight, and we're in that state so often, so much of our awake and asleep time. And
Mm.
so when you are tapping on these pathways, on these points, these acupressure
Mm-hmm.
points, you are literally telling your nervous system that everything is okay.
Mm.
And when you tell your nervous system, okay, everything's okay, then your thinking brain comes back online and you can think clearly. And so instead of being in that angry fight state of mind, or that frozen, or flight is like, I'm going to run away, right? But
Yeah. Gonna go
any of
hide.
those, right? Instead of being in those state of minds, you're going to
Hmm.
be thinking clearly, and you're going to be able to say to yourself, like, you know what? Like, there isn't a tiger. Like, maybe that person didn't mean
Oh,
anything by that comment, or maybe
right.
that notification was good news and not bad news about my child at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of those things. Suddenly, you're able to see different perspectives, different options. You're able to think clearly, and you're also like able to say, like, you know what? Even if it is the bad thing, I can handle it. Like, I'm
Right.
capable of figuring this out. I
Right.
trust myself, and I trust in
Mm-hmm.
my capabilities to reason
Yeah.
and sort through this, right? So that is ultimately what tapping is about. You're calming your nervous system, but it can be used for such a wide variety of things. People use it for PTSD,
Mm-hmm.
and working through those
Wow.
kinds of traumatic situations.
Mm-hmm.
People use it for chronic pain. People use it just for stress and anxiety in general.
Hmm.
I like to use it for time management, and
Oh.
helping people get started and not
Uh-huh.
procrastinating anymore. Yeah.
How do you apply it to time management?
So time management is often, like, I got to give an example, I guess.
Yeah.
So I sit down at my desk and I'm looking at the
Mm-hmm.
day ahead, and I'm freaking out because I have way too many things on my to-do
Your
list,
list is very
right?
long.
Yeah. So if I do a little bit of tapping, then I can prioritize more easily. I know
Okay.
what's most important. I know better how long things will actually take to get done, right? So in that way, you're using tapping to manage your day, to manage your time in your day.
Okay.
I think procrastination is very much a emotional issue, but a
Yeah.
lot of people see procrastination as a time issue, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
procrastinating because I don't have time.
I'm so busy. Yeah.
I'm so busy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right?
Yeah. I often
So
say you don't get a badge for being the busiest. It's not
you
a thing that you
don't.
earn.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yes,
It's not
yes.
a
There's no
prize.
badge of honor. Right,
No.
right. Exactly. So, yeah. So, procrastination is really about your emotions, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fearful of what will happen if I do this task, or
Mm.
I'm overwhelmed by all that this task
Yeah.
involves. So you can tap on those things, and then instead of procrastinating, you're using your time more wisely. Yeah.
Okay. Are you comfortable or can you show us what that looks like? Like, how would you apply tapping to move through some of those issues?
Yeah. Yes, yes and no. So I'm comfortable showing you a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
so individualized that I
Right. I'm sure.
encourage people to honestly go online and Google it. There's so many
Uh-huh.
resources out there. I myself
Okay.
have some free videos on my website.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
there's lots of stuff out there.
Okay.
But what it looks like at a very basic level is, yeah, I can, you know what, do you want to just do a round to
Oh,
like
sure.
relax?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
so all you're gonna do is copy me. um,
Okay.
Often when people are tapping, they are repeating words, but I like to do
Okay.
it without words, so that's what I'll show you. It's,
Okay.
you don't even have to say anything, so we'll
Okay.
start by just tapping at the top of your head.
Okay. And if anybody's listening to this on, I have the audio and a video version, so you'll be able to see on YouTube, but if you're listening, bear with us for a minute.
Yeah. Well, now I'll talk you through it if you're listening.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So when you're
Perfect.
tapping on the top of your head, it's the very top crown part of your head. And
Okay.
you're just tapping with two, three, four fingers, very
Okay.
lightly, gently. and just start to relax your body. And then we'll move to what's called the eyebrow point. And the eyebrow point is the edge of your eyebrow closest to your nose. And you're tapping, I usually use 2 fingers because it's a pretty tiny spot. You just tap and think about relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders. And then we'll move to the point that's called the side of eye. The side of eye is the temple. Again, we're just relaxing. We're just calming our body, kind of settling into our chair. And then we'll move to under the eye. And the point under your eye is like the bone under your eye, the eye socket bone. And then we'll move to under the nose. And under the nose is literally between your nose and your upper lip. And here's where I start to think, all right, my body's relaxed, but I want to relax my mind, right? And you don't have to hold on to every thought. Just let the thoughts come and go. As you're tapping, you're just relaxing your mind, relaxing your body a little bit more. And then we'll move to under your mouth. And under the point under your mouth is under your lip, but not as low as your chin, right? It's the little divot. Yeah. And the next point is your collarbone. Anywhere along your collarbone. I usually use all 4 fingers and I kind of move up and down that area. This is a favorite for people. And if you could just pick one point, it would probably be this one. Most people say this just feels good. And just pause and calm your body, relax your body, settle into your chair. And then the last point is under your arm. And under your arm, it's not your armpit, it's about a hand's width lower. Just under your arm, kind of across your side. All right, and we'll stop there. Those are the points.
Okay.
And you don't have to use
Hmm.
words. You know, most people do, and there are ways to make tapping very effective when you do use words. But
Okay.
just tapping on those points will
Okay.
allow your body to relax. Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we used one hand on several points.
Yeah.
Should you use both hands on both sides of your face, both
Great
collarbones?
question.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, how does that
So
work?
we used one hand. It's I find the simplest way to teach people. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
you can use both hands on all of them. So both
Mm-hmm.
hands top of head, both hands on either eyebrow, both
Uh-huh.
hands side of eye, and you can work your way through both hands.
Okay.
It's all the way
But it's
down.
not
It's
necessary or required
yeah,
to be
not required.
effective.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Not required.
Okay.
And people often ask, like 1 finger, 2 fingers, do what's comfortable for you,
Okay.
right? If you want to
We
use
might be
all,
overthinking it.
yeah, right? Yeah. Are you in the overthinker club too?
A bit. Yeah. Yes, I
Yeah,
am.
me too. Right. And people will ask me eyes open, eyes closed.
Yeah.
Again, that's a personal preference.
Okay. Okay.
They'll ask how many taps, and you really
Oh,
don't have to
how
count,
quick and
right?
all of it.
If you're
Yeah.
focused on counting how many times you're tapping, then you're
Defeats the
losing
purpose.
the point of it. Just tap until
Yeah.
it feels natural to move. Um,
Okay.
and there was one more question people often ask me. Um, oh, how hard? How hard?
Oh, uh-huh.
I actually think that's a good question, right? But
Uh-huh.
again, it's personal preference. How
Okay.
hard, how fast. You're not hurting yourself, right? But
Yeah.
you want it to be enough pressure to sense it,
That you
right?
feel
And
it. Mm-hmm.
yeah, to feel it. And if if it's uncomfortable to tap,
Mm-hmm.
you can even just use pressure. So just press
Oh,
in on each point.
Oh, yeah, that I can imagine that would feel very good
right?
on your head
In
at
fact,
times.
people do this without even knowing a thing about tapping.
Yeah.
You press on your
Uh-huh.
temple, you
Oh,
press on
yeah,
your eye, right?
for
Or
sure.
collarbone. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People do
Okay.
that without even realizing why it's
Mm-hmm.
helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
Just feels good.
Yeah, it just feels good. And
Yeah.
really I encourage people, you don't have to use words. You don't, if you miss a point, you miss a point. Like just play around with it.
Just do
See
you.
what
Uh-huh.
feels good. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Makes
Yeah.
it simple. And,
Right,
it
right. Because
feels,
yeah, so many
yeah, go ahead.
people were saying to me, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. What if
Mm.
I do it wrong? Right? All the overthinkers like me.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I realized like we need to make this accessible to anybody to just start, right? You can learn
yeah.
how to be more effective and add things in later, but to start,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a way to calm your body and keep
Yeah.
it as simple as that.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it feels very much like meditation because you're
Yes.
very present in the moment. You're present with how you feel and what's going on in your body.
Yeah.
And you're kind of resetting that just through
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't love to meditate.
Yeah.
I've had a tough relationship with that. I do sometimes still, pull out a guided meditation.
Yeah.
But what I found is that tapping is my substitute for that.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I can tap and tap and tap for forever. And I am in a meditative state often.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
to just silence my mind is so hard
Yes.
for me. And I get really frustrated
Mm.
and kind of defeats the
Oh,
purpose
yeah.
of
Yeah.
meditation. Yeah, so
Exactly.
it is like that. Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, 'cause I imagine a lot of people, it is a practice.
it
For
is.
me, for anyone who's, as you meditate, as you get used to it, it it becomes easier as you practice
Yeah,
it. But, if you can't turn your brain off, this seems like a really great way to
yeah,
really
yeah.
refocus yourself and keep
Yes,
yourself
yes.
calm.
Yeah. I also, there's a tapping meditation out there where they have you tap to
Hmm.
calm your body and mind, and then you meditate.
Mm,
Right? So
nice. Hmm.
you tap first and then you're calm and your mind, you've already kind of primed your brain to say, you know
Yeah.
what, let those thoughts come and go, right? And then
Yes.
you can meditate. So I've done that sometimes too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. I find that when you're able to calm yourself and not and allow the thoughts to come or allow the silence,
Hmm.
when you sit still long enough to listen, the solutions to problems or the next thing you should do or the answers come to you as
Yeah.
you're in the silence.
Yes. Agreed. I agree. And
Hmm.
I find the same thing happens when I'm tapping. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Mhm.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
It is. I love it. And it's been such an important part of my life that a couple of years ago I kind of said, why am I not teaching people how to do this? Why-
Mm.
right? Like
Yeah.
I found I was for my clients, especially, I was, sending them elsewhere, go follow this person, go talk to this
Mm.
person, you know, and I
Mhm.
like, hold on, like I could be sharing this with people. And
Yeah.
it kind of transformed my work in a really positive way.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it feels like it's one of those things when you first hear about it, it's like, oh wait, that can't be that
Yeah,
simple,
yeah.
or it can't
Like,
be,
that's
that
weird.
seems
Yeah.
woo-woo, or yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It does, and I get it. I get it, and I have some very close friends who are like, no, didn't work for me,
Oh,
and that's fine, right? Like,
yeah.
but I find it works really well for enough people that I think
Mm.
everybody should try it. And if it's not for
Yeah.
you, it's not. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
as
It doesn't
simple as
hurt
that.
anything to try it.
Exactly.
It's not going to
Yeah.
hurt you to do to do
Right.
it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
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 How often, how long do you tap? Like do you tap every day? How long do you sit in a
Yeah.
session and do it?
Great question. So at this point in my life, I tap nearly every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do not necessarily sit down with the intention to tap, however.
Okay.
So I know people who do that, and I encourage people to try that, kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
meditation practice, right? Like you
Yeah.
have time and your um, process of where you're going to sit and how long you're going to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find that works best for me is to tap in the moment when I am feeling I need it. Um,
Mm.
Often that's at the beginning of my day, right? I'm sitting down at my desk and I'm looking at my to-do
Mm-hmm.
list and I'm kind of starting to feel that anxiety creep in, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll do some tapping then. But other times it's after a hard conversation, or it's right before I go on a podcast, or it's times when other times of the day where some stress creeps in, or I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I'll be out for a walk and I'll do some tapping. I'll either
Okay.
tap while I'm walking, or I'll sit down on a bench and tap for a bit. So
Uh-huh.
I find that I have kind of added it in here and there throughout my day. But
Okay.
that's partly because I've been doing it for 10 years, and I
Mm-hmm.
notice when my body tenses up, and it's my
Yeah.
go-to solution, right?
Yeah.
But for people who are just starting out, I do encourage them to make it a habit, to find that time of day that whether they set a reminder, or some sort of cue to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage them just to do it for 5 minutes to start. Five
Mm-hmm.
minutes a day. Try to get in the habit of doing it consistently. Um, but I also say, like, that the most successful people I know aren't necessarily consistent. They just know how
Mm.
to restart, right? Like,
Oh,
we're
in
not going to be
anything in
consistent
life, right?
at anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. People get so hung up, well, I can't be consistent, then I might as well not do it,
Oh
right?
gosh, no.
And
Yeah.
that's the successful people,
Mm-hmm.
they don't
Just
do
get back
things this.
up.
Yeah, they just get back up,
Exactly.
right? They
Yep.
miss a day, they get back up. They miss a week, they get back up. They try
Yeah.
again, they get restarted.
Yep.
So yes, it's helpful to be consistent and do it every
Mm-hmm.
day, but don't let that stop you if you're not a
Right.
consistent person. Just
Yeah.
do
Give
it when you
yourself
do it.
grace.
Yeah, I find it helpful to have a kind of like a go-to little cheat sheet written
Great
down on the
idea.
side,
Mm-hmm.
with tapping being on there, but also meditation, breathing
Mm-hmm.
exercises.
Nice.
On my list is call a friend, right? Because
Oh,
sometimes,
I love that.
right?
Always.
Whatever works for you, go for a walk, take a shower, whatever
Yeah.
works. But yeah, you don't always think of it when you're in the moment. But
Right.
if you have that little list and you're feeling
Yeah.
icky, you kind of say, all right, choose something off this list
Yeah.
that is posted
I
on your
love that
desk or on the
idea.
back of the mirror,
A
someplace.
note on your phone, so
Yes,
that you
great
always have it
idea.
with you.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep. Yeah, and then you start to get in that habit of referring to
Mm-hmm.
that and choosing something, in the moment.
Yeah.
We all need to pause from time to time and
All right.
do whatever works for us to get back,
Mm-hmm.
get ourselves back. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So what other tips or what other things have you witnessed? What stories can you share about people you know who have used tapping in an effective way, or what can you share with us?
I have this one great story. So I was still training to be a EFT tapping practitioner. And during that time, I had to work with a lot of different practice clients. And,
Mm-hmm.
and so this particular story just surprised me, and it's one of my favorites. So I
Oh,
had a client I'd been working with for a couple sessions, and because I had been an ADHD coach for so many years, my practice clients typically had ADHD. So this
okay.
particular woman, in her early 50s, she's a photographer. She, owns her own business, right? And she's trying to build that up, but feeling really frustrated, overwhelmed, scattered.
Mm.
And her task that she was trying to get started on was her website. She had a
Oh,
website, but she needed to update it. And she knew she needed to update it. She even knew how to update it, right? Like she
yeah.
knew to do the techie side of it and she
Uh-huh.
knew what she wanted to change, but she just couldn't find the time, couldn't, bring
Yep.
herself to sit down and do it. It was, a tedious, boring task. And
Mm-hmm.
we did some tapping together during our session. And no joke, 2 hours later, she texted me and said, "It's done." Yeah.
2 hours.
She was like, "Oh, all right. I feel like doing it now." Sat
Oh
down.
my gosh.
Yeah. Now that doesn't happen every single time I work with somebody, but it happens often enough that whatever
Uh-huh.
it is that people have been avoiding, we
Mm-hmm.
through our tapping, we kind of get to the root of whatever it is and
Mm-hmm.
clear that emotion, or we just calm their body enough to know like it's safe to go and do this and
Yep.
get the clarity on the
Wow.
first step. And yeah, so
Uh,
favorite story. I will
yeah,
always
that's
remember that because
amazing.
I was so shocked, right? Like, what?
Yeah, two
You got
hours.
it.
We
Yeah.
build things up so much in our head that we make it so
Yeah.
big. And here
Yeah.
it took her 2 hours once she was
It's
able to
nice. Yep.
just go do it.
Yeah. 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 It's truly amazing. I've seen other people who are really nervous about getting on stage, whatever the stage is. It
Oh,
might not
yeah.
even be like live in front of people. It might be
Mm-hmm.
on a podcast. It might be in
Mm-hmm.
a networking room, right? But
Right.
I've seen just amazing results with kind of calming that fear of
Mm,
being visible, that fear of public speaking, and
wow.
jumping in and having a great time. So that's another
Okay.
one I've witnessed quite
All
often.
right. Oh gosh. Yeah, that reminds me. A lot of women, we join networking groups to get to know each other and to spread the word about what you do to how you make your impact. But I do know a lot of women that I network with are nervous to go into the room.
Yeah, I
Especially
was.
if they're
Yep.
just yeah, if you're visiting for the first time, it's a little intimidating to walk
It
into a room
is.
where people know each other and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you do know that you're there for the purpose of
Mhm.
networking, so that takes a little of it off. But I imagine if you sit out in your car for 5 minutes before you walk in
And
and
do
do
some
those pressure
tapping.
points, yeah, that
Yeah,
would
I did.
probably help.
I did. Yeah. I
Hmm.
used to sit in my car. It's like you knew me. I used to sit in my car just so scared, and
Oh gosh,
it was irrational fear. Like I can say that now,
sure, all
you
of it is
know.
really. Uh-huh.
Some of it was imposter syndrome. Some of it
Yes.
was, that like, what if I say the wrong thing, or
Hmm.
what if I don't meet anybody I like, right? So like that thing, you
Yeah.
know. And I would do some tapping and I would calm down and then I'd go in that meeting. And the group that I was initially a part, I am still a part of it, but um, the very first networking I did was with a local in-person group.
Uh-huh.
And at 2 years into it, I became the director of that local group. Like I went from scared to death in my
Wow.
car to,
Oh,
oh, I could lead them. I could manage this
yeah.
chapter, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't, it's not all because of tapping, but I know that
Hmm.
some of it was, I just had to get myself in the door, and
Yes.
tapping was a great way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To build your confidence and to
Yeah.
feel comfortable doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Tapping just allowed me to to be very aware that the fear in that moment was irrational and that I
Mhm.
I really didn't need to be as afraid as I was, right?
Mm. Mhm.
There wasn't a tiger lurking, looking to get me. And if I
Yeah.
did say the wrong thing, I would be able to recover from that, right? Like
Mhm.
some of my fears, tapping just allowed them to decrease enough to get in
Mm,
the door and then be able to create some amazing connections
mm,
and relationships. And here we are 8 years later, and
yeah.
those are still some of my most supportive colleagues. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And now you're paying it forward and supporting others in how to do it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. hmm
That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So, what have I not asked you that you would love to share about
Mhm.
tapping or about what you do?
I think that the other piece about tapping that I always try to share if
Mm-hmm.
prompted and given the opportunity is that
Mm-hmm.
like what we've talked about today is very general, very, you can do it on your own. Google it,
Mm-hmm.
follow people, right? Do it on your own. But the tapping that I'm actually trained to do is EFT tapping, which is more precise. So
Okay.
if you have an issue that maybe stems from childhood, or it just feels bigger, right? It's just a little
Mm-hmm.
more involved and a little more scary, right? With EFT tapping one on one, I can guide you very gently, very
Mm-hmm.
safely to clear the blocks there, to get to the limiting beliefs, to release those emotions.
Mm.
And so, what we've talked about today, go do it, do try it out, but if there's
Uh-huh.
something deeper, there's EFT tapping can go deeper, and there are practitioners out there like me who can guide you safely with that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so I will include your links in my show notes and everything too, so people can find you quickly. But for those listening, how should people find you, or what's the
Yeah.
easiest, quickest way to find you?
The quickest way is my website, which is barbhubbardcoaching.com. So,
Okay,
yeah.
wonderful.
I'm also on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is
Okay,
kind of my favorite social media place to hang out right
okay,
now. So, yeah.
okay, great. Well, I'll include those links so people
Thank you.
can find you quickly. So, may I switch
Yeah.
gears on you a little
Sure.
bit? Do
Yeah.
something fun. What is your favorite cocktail or glass of wine?
So it's funny, I knew this question was coming. I haven't had a drink in months.
Oh,
When
really?
I hit a point in my perimenopause journey, I started to
Hmm.
feel really ill after just one glass of
Really?
wine.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I kind of reached a point where I said, why am I doing that to
Oh, why?
myself?
Yeah, why do that? Yeah.
So I don't drink anymore. However, Riesling wine is my favorite and
Oh, yeah.
has been for my whole life. I'm not a
Yeah.
beer drinker. I'm not a cocktail drinker unless it's really
Yeah.
fruity and
Yeah.
I
You like a little bit sweeter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So a sweet style Riesling, like a
yep,
German, probably.
exactly,
Okay. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, and it's really, I feel like there are a lot of amazing mocktails out there now. It's
Yes,
really
yes.
becoming a thing
Yeah,
to
it
just,
is. It
fancy up
is.
your
Yeah, yeah,
soft drinks. Do you have
yeah.
a
And I
favorite way to drink, a cocktail or not a cocktail, a mocktail? Do you have a favorite thing that
Yeah,
you like to do with your water or
yeah.
club soda?
When I go out, I will ask for, a mocktail menu. And I love
Yeah.
when they have like, it's probably like Sprite or 7 Up to make it a little
Yeah.
easy, and some fruit juices, and they decorate it with
Nice.
limes and, all of
Yes.
that. I actually have never done it at home, but I think
Oh,
now
yeah.
that we're talking about it, I'm like, oh, that would be fun.
Absolutely. You can come up with your own
Yeah,
recipe and your own
exactly. Yeah,
combination of fruits and
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
have some
yeah,
fun with that.
yeah. It is. I love a good mocktail when I'm out with friends, and it makes me feel like, I don't know, it's just fun. It's a little whimsy. It's not all of us
Yeah.
drink, but enough of us do that you feel like you're part of the group when you're holding this fancy
Absolutely.
drink, right? Yeah,
Yes, yes. You don't have to have alcohol to have it
exactly.
be elevated and have a
Yeah,
great experience
yeah,
with girlfriends.
exactly. Exactly.
Hmm. So what's a favorite memory with girlfriends? What do you recall
Yeah.
about a fun time with them?
Yeah. I love different. like winery areas. So long
Mm-hmm.
ago, I lived in Rochester, New York, and the Finger Lakes region
Really?
is wonderful for wines.
Girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm so excited because I'm
Oh,
taking a group of ladies to the Finger Lakes region of New York
no
for wine
way.
camp. That's our
Ah,
retreat this year.
I haven't
Yeah.
been there in 20 years at
Oh my
least.
gosh.
But I
Yes.
love it. Just fabulous memories of driving around the Finger Lakes and checking
Oh,
the
that's
different wineries.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That brings back such good memories for
Oh,
me.
that's so nice. So you grew up in Rochester?
I didn't grow up there, but my
Oh,
husband
okay.
went to grad school there at University of
Okay.
Rochester, and we were there for 5 years right after
Oh,
we were
wonderful.
married. So,
Oh,
after getting married, but before kids. So
yeah.
we could go out for a drive on the weekends, and
Oh, so
it was,
beautiful up there too, right?
I miss it in many ways. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted because you
Yeah,
said
that's
Finger Lakes.
right. Yeah.
So what's the memory then with your girlfriends?
Yeah, well, it's just that. It's driving around and hitting
Yeah.
up these different local
Mm.
wineries and being together and laughing. And, there
Oh.
was always also, pies and cheeses and
Mm.
food.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah, for
often in it
sure.
for the food. And
Yes.
yeah, there
Yeah,
was,
do you have a favorite?
I,
A
I
favorite
so
winery or?
I don't.
Yeah.
And honestly, I couldn't remember the names of
Yeah,
those.
it's if it's been that
Like,
long, it's probably,
been a
yeah,
long
different.
time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I love that area and love just
Yeah.
the camaraderie and the experience of
Mm-hmm.
driving around and
Mm.
spending the day together.
Sharing that memory.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now I live in Southern California. I'm in San Diego. And
Okay.
there's also great wineries about an hour north of us in the
Yes.
Temecula area. And
Uh-huh.
and I haven't been in a while, but it is also just it's same kind of thing, right? You hit
Yeah.
up 3, 4 wineries, and
Yeah.
you get to taste different wines, you get to eat great food, and you sit around, enjoy the music and the friendship and the
Oh,
conversations, the
so
laughs, and
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. I love bringing women together too, because the older we get, especially, the more we need our girlfriend time.
Yes, yes, for
Hmm.
sure. Well, and I am in this boat still. My kids are both grown and out of college, but
Yeah.
go when your kids are little, you kind of stop doing that. And sometimes
Yeah.
it really takes a big nudge to get back into finding time for
Exactly.
just you and your girlfriends and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think we kind of get out of the habit, right? We get out of
Exactly. We put ourselves last, and really to keep that connection it's good for your mental health. It's good for
yeah.
it's self-care, and that helps you be a better mom, helps you better be a better
It does.
human.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So,
It's
yeah,
important. I
yeah,
think we have to schedule it because if we don't schedule it, we
yeah,
let other
yeah.
things take
Mhm.
priority.
Yeah, it gets
Yeah.
harder.
Keep that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barb, this has been delightful. I'm so grateful to get to know
Yes,
you.
thank you. Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for the wonderful questions and conversation.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
you too.
Bye-bye. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!